Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the podcast. I'm Jeremy Birmingham, and this is another episode of Birminology. Today, we are talking with new Ohio State 2025 running back commitment, Isaiah West. Isaiah is a big-time talent from Philadelphia St. Joe's Prep High School and a player that's just spent his weekend on campus with the Buckeyes. He's announced his decision, and he's ready to talk to us about it right now. Back now with Isaiah West, Ohio State's latest 2025 commitment. Isaiah, congratulations on making it public, on making it official. But let's be real, this has been in the works for a while now. How does it feel to have it out in the open?
It feels great, man. I mean, this is what I wanted. So to be able to take this opportunity, I'm real excited.
You know, this is a process for you that has been kind of interesting. I mean, honestly, I'm not sure what people are looking at. I've seen your film and I've seen your national rankings, and I'm not sure I understand what the hell is going on. Maybe you can shed some light. What do you think people are missing? Because right now, the consensus rankings, the industry rankings on on3.com have you as the number 41 running back in the country. I know that that's not how Ohio State views you, for sure. I know that's not how you view yourself. Can we just try to figure out what are people not seeing, or is it just that you don't run the ball, a lot at Joe's Prep, or you don't do a lot of the camps? Like, what do you think it has caused that disconnect?
Yeah, I'm sure me not doing a whole lot of camps has something to do with it. But man, at the end of the day, it is what it is. The people that need to find me, they found me, and I'm gonna make the most of that opportunity.
Let's go to that. How did Carlos Lachlan find you? I mean, I know he was recruiting you while he was at Oregon. He comes to Ohio State. He maintains the conversation. He offers you like 3 weeks before anyone ever knew that he offered you, because you were at the time committed to Kentucky and you didn't make a big deal about it. But what was it about Coach Lachlan and the relationship that he had with you that made you so interested in him and Ohio State?
He's just a stand-up guy. I mean, he's real consistent with his communication. He sends me motivation every morning, consistent. 5 o'clock, 8 o'clock in the morning, I get a motivation from him every single time. He calls me at least once or twice a week, and it's just a real easy dude to talk to. I mean, I appreciated the quick transition from Oregon, him being real transparent, understanding that Oregon's across the country, so he's not going to offer me there. But as soon as he got to Ohio, he made it very clear that he wants me to be there and he wants to coach me.
You told me in one of our early conversations, as you know, I was learning about you, that he reminded you of your father in some way. Like, how is that? How does he remind you of your dad?
Just how open and transparent he is. I mean, I feel like Coach Locke has a very big personality. I'm sure a lot of people kind of get that from him. He says what's on his mind, and he's unapologetic about it.
I have had the pleasure of watching him coach in the last couple of weeks as we've been at these one-day recruiting camps at Ohio State, and he is demanding. Like, he does not allow for mistakes. If someone goes through a drill and they're holding the ball wrong, he makes them go through it again. Like, for even kids that have no chance of playing at Ohio State. But is that something that a player like you wants or needs, or both?
Absolutely, man. That's what I want. You know, I don't want a coach that's telling me how great I am and I'm this, I'm that. You know, I want you to tell me what's wrong, man. I want you to tell me what I need to work on. When I'm doing something wrong, I want you to make sure I do it right. And so I appreciate that. You know, I mean, I feel good in the moment, but we're going to be real happy with the result.
St. Joe's Prep is a program that Ohio State fans have learned fairly well in the last few years. It's the home of the alma mater of Colin McCord, the alma mater of Marvin Harrison. You're visiting over the weekend with Maxwell Roy, a defensive lineman from the Prep. Ohio State defensive coordinator Jim Knowles from there. What do you think, going to be the biggest transition from high school to college, and how do you think that the Prep has prepared you to take on that adjustment?
Honestly, I would say like the transition, it'll be pretty smooth for me just because of how Prep operates on a daily basis. We operate like college. I mean, 5 a.m. practices, weight room, film study, you name it, we do it all. And so I feel like it's going to be a pretty smooth transition.
What is it about Columbus on your first visit that really caught your eye? Did you find a place that you like to eat? Or are there places that, you know, spoiler alert, we're filming this before your official visit actually starts. So for people wondering, have you been researching Columbus and seeing like, hey, I want to go here, I want to check this out, or is there a place that people on the Ohio State staff have told you, hey, when you're in town, you got to try this burger or whatever?
I haven't really done much research. I'm really just kind of enjoying the process, and I'm just gonna go with the flow. I see the itinerary is a bunch of places, so we're gonna see.
What was it like when you realized that you had this opportunity in front of you? Because you're obviously a pretty laid back kid. You don't. It seems like you're not someone that lets the scope of this experience, mess with your humility or anything like that. But when you have an opportunity to play football at Ohio State, is that life changing in some way, or is it just one more step on the road for you?
Oh, it's crazy. I mean, funny enough, when Coach Locke first offered me, I didn't even know. my mom texted me because he reached out to my parents, and she was like, "You didn't even tell me that he offered you." I was like, "What?" So I had to double back and ask him, like, "Wait, really, Coach?" And he was like, "Yeah." So I mean, to hear that I got an offer at Ohio State, obviously it's a great feeling. But like you said, it is another step in the road. This is taking me to the place that I want to be. This is what I expect for myself. This is what I want for myself. So.
Explain your style of game to people that are not familiar with what Isaiah West does. What type of running back would you say you are? Who have you emulated? Who do you watch and say, that's the guy that I want to play like?
I feel like I'm a very physical back. I mean, one of my favorite running backs is Bijan Robinson. I love how balanced he is. I mean, not to say he's a generational talent. He's a threat all across the field. I mean, whether it's the slide, wide out, backfield, out the backfield, he's a problem. I would say one thing that I try to model my game after, I would say Leonard Fournette, back when he was at LSU. Just the physicality, the quick burst, the short area quickness, everything.
Are you even old enough to have watched Leonard Fournette at LSU? I mean, that feels like it was a long time ago to me.
I do. My dad, he's a historic football guy. Whenever we go on these visits to these different schools, he's always dropping names to me. And I'm like, who's this guy? And then he has me watch the highlights.
Who's your dad's favorite team?
My dad's he's a Cowboys fan. He's a Cowboys fan.
Okay, so most of the time at Ohio State in your generation, when you ask people, they say Ezekiel Elliott. Like that's the guy that people model their game after, and that's a lot of pressure because Zeke is maybe the best running back that's ever played at Ohio State. So that's certainly something to reach for as you start your transition from high school to college. Where is the part of your game that you think you need to still improve the most? I know you can improve in every facet, but where's the spot where you're like, man, if I can do this, then I can get on the field early at Ohio State?
I think just improving, making people miss an open field. Like I got to make sure that those safeties, once we get an open field one-on-one with them, people are already throwing their hands up in there for a touchdown. I feel like I do a great job making sure the first person doesn't bring me down, striking off tacklers, running through arm tackles. But we got to be able to make people miss.
As part of this Ohio State recruiting class right now, the number 1 ranked class in the country, as you get in it, there's a lot of guys left. In the last month, when you have been, I don't like to use the term silent commitment or anything like that, but we can call it what it is. Like this is something that you have had a sense was going to happen for a while. Are there any guys in this class that you've really grown close to, or people that you're hoping to build a bond with as you start moving forward?
Yeah, I haven't really got to communicate with anybody quite yet, man. But of course, I want to get close to these guys, these people. These going to be my brothers pretty soon. So definitely, I want to get close to everybody.
The $1 million question a lot of fans will have is understanding that Bo Jackson committed 2 weeks ago. You're making this decision now, so now there's 2 running backs in this class. There is still at least an effort to continue recruiting Jordan Davison from California and maybe add a third. As a competitor, everyone will understand the notion that the more things in your way, the harder it is to get where you want to go. But you don't care because you want to just compete and be the best. So how do you approach the recruitment of Jordan Davison moving forward? Or how do you approach the conversation with Coach Locke about that?
I don't really get into that. If he comes, that's great. I mean, we'll have one of the best backfields in college football. But I mean, at the end of the day, I'm just here to compete, and I'm running my own race.
Where does that mentality come from? Is that just your family? Is that Tim Roken and St. Joe's Prep? I mean, it's a mature attitude that I don't think a lot of kids today have instilled in them. So if you could just give a little bit of a background, like where does that part of your person come from?
It's a little bit of everything. I mean, trainers that I've had, but definitely my parents. I mean, my parents they taught me to never back down from competition. And during this process, it shouldn't be who may be committing or who's already there that steers you away from the school. Because at the end of the day, there's talent everywhere, and at some point you're gonna have to compete. So if you're worried about the person that's there, then maybe this isn't for you.
Let's get to the things that really matter. What number do you want to wear in college, and why?
I want to wear 5.
Because of Bijan Robinson.
Yes, sir.
Okay. See, I'm good at this stuff. What's the one meal when you go away to college? What's the one meal at home that you're going to miss the most?
One meal at home I'm going to miss. I got to say my mom's barbecue ribs and my dad's steak. And my mom's baked macaroni and cheese. It's good stuff.
That sounds like a good meal. What's the best Philly steak in Philly, in your opinion?
I always say Delisangers. That's just off the top of my head. But I'm sure my friends, they could probably point you in a way better direction than me.
One of my coworkers, his name is Bill Landis. You'll meet him as you go through your Ohio State career. He's from Philly. So when you get to Ohio State and you start looking for the Philly cheesesteak in Columbus, he has a spot in town. He doesn't tell people about it publicly because it's like his favorite Philly cheesesteak place, but he'll make sure you get right when you get there.
Try this.
As with this season approaching, you've got commitment out of the way, no more visits anywhere else, all that sort of stuff. What is the focus for you now until you graduate?
I just want to continue to get better. I want to make sure I close out the senior season the right way, continue the greatness that goes on at prep, and continue to prepare myself for the next level.
Well, congratulations, Isaiah. You're on your way to being the best ever Ohio State Buckeye from Philadelphia St. Joe's Prep. No pressure. I mean, Marvin Harrison was okay. He turned out fine. He's turned out well, but you have a chance to. That's the beauty of life, isn't it? Like you have an opportunity to be better. You have everything in front of you. He can't go back and get any better than he was at Ohio State. You can be better.
Absolutely.
Look, man, congratulations. Hope you enjoyed the weekend in Columbus. Now that it's over, wink, 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 nudge, nudge. And again, commitment number 15, big time running back for Ohio State. Ignore the rankings, folks. Watch the tape. That's all I'm saying. Watch the tape. Isaiah West, thank you for joining us. I'm Jeremy Birmingham. This has been Birminology on the podcast. We'll talk to you later.